The Tokyo prison fire family's request for excavation of the site where the unknown number of Americans died. I am showing you a plot of land in the world's busiest megalopolis. Inhabited by a population of over 40 million citizens, this is Tokyo, Japan. In the heart of Shibuya City, amongst a bustling daily grind, there is a place that is completely clear. There are no buildings. A green grass space covers about 30,000 square feet. This is enough space to accommodate a track and field or a football stadium. Adjoining this green space you will find an elementary school. The Jinan Elementary School, Shibuya City, Tokyo, Japan. This building was erected about 1970 and is within the inner compound of the old Tokyo Military Prison. 1945 The Tokyo Military Prison. Prior to Operation Meeting House, the March 8, 1945 aerial photograph provides the locations of buildings. Throughout the winter and spring of 1945, the American airmen suspected of incendiary bombing would be held as possible war criminals. The Americans would be interrogated by the Kinpitai. In April and May 1945, reports indicate about 80 American airmen were transported from Kinpitai headquarters to the Tokyo Military Prison. This prison site became a hellscape of confinement for an unknown number of Americans. The Tokyo Military Prison was completely destroyed May 26, 1945. This destruction was a result of the B-29 incendiary bombing that burned several square miles and a conflagration that created a firestorm, filling the prison compound with thick smoke and brick-sized embers, along with 50-mile-per-hour flamed winds and temperatures that boiled skin and blackened corpses. In January 1946, the United States Graves Registration Team begins recovery. The remains of 62 American airmen are in a single grave. This grave is between cell block number 2 and number 3. An unknown amount of corpses were recovered. The grave is 51 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 5 feet deep. Graves Registration Team reports irregularities with the skeletal remains. 30 skulls are unaccounted for, along with many leg bones broken and massed together with no logical explanation. The decomposition is out of ordinary. Something is not right. The remains are classified as X-files. The X-files show a large number of skeletal remains not collected. The uncollected remains were missed in recovery operations, and the families believe these remains are still on the site today. The uncollected remains would have mixed in the filled dirt under the grassy area and in the foundation of the school. In 1946 to 1948, recovery and identification efforts continue while the United States vs. Tashiro Toshio war crime trial takes place in Yokohama, Japan. Tashiro, the warden of the Tokyo Military Prison, said during trial testimony that many crimes were committed against American airmen, resulting in homicide, negligence, and conspiracy charges. The jailers are found to be guilty of various crimes. Facts revealed the number of American airmen killed in the prison is now up to 65 Americans. Witnesses report an unknown number of American airmen in the prison, perhaps as many as 70. The increased number from 62 dead Americans is supported from witness affidavit collected from investigating teams interviewing surviving American airmen. Many of the affidavits suggest the number of men taken from the Kinpitai to the prison was closer to 80 American airmen. Graves registration teams would return to the prison site 3 times for recovery of skeletal remains in 1946 and 1947. In 1948, trial testimony says that not only did the prison burial detail buried bodies in the grave between number 2 and number 3, but they also buried bodies in a grave between the number 3 and number 4 cell blocks. In addition, a third grave was discovered at the north end of the prison near the kitchen September 11, 1947. No reports about searching the cell block number 4 foundation seem to exist. A witness statement during the trial said, "I saw 42 dead Americans in cell block number 4. 42 dead Americans." Another testimony said, "I saw 30 bodies near the gate." Yes, 30 bodies near the gate. The testimony continues, and it is revealed that a structure was erected over the grave between number 3 and number 4 cell block in July 1945, before the end of the war. The construction included excavation of about 2 feet of earth. Furthermore, dispute over the number of Americans detained in cell block number 4 continued to be inconclusive throughout the trial. In 1950, identification efforts are completed with 25 airmen identified. Also 1950, 37 American airmen are declared unidentifiable for lack of identifying matter. Missing skeletal remains indicated in X-Files. At the close of 1950, the American airmen believed to be killed at the Tokyo military prison were transported to the Philippines and laid to rest in the Manila American Cemetery. Their remains were marked as unknown, but to God. In 1950 to 1970, during this period, the prison site was filled with earth from surrounding construction projects. As we can see through time, the compound containing the cell blocks, the grave site, and the inner compound buildings remains relatively untouched. Fill material was clearly placed over the area that later became the soccer field we see today. In 2015, the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, DPAA, begins DNA Family Reference Program for MIA unknown soldiers. A few family reference samples are collected for missing B-29 airmen. In 2019, activism started by the grandson of Sergeant Leonard James McNeil. A letter-writing campaign searching for families associated with victims of the Tokyo military prison fire began. After a few years, the letter encouraging families to contact DPAA was a success. In 2021, Tokyo prison fire families provide DNA reference samples, and United States senators request the disinterment of unknown X-Files in Manila. In 2022, DPAA, disinterment order given for X-Files. 39 unknown caskets from Manila, Philippines are disinterred and taken to the DPAA lab in Hawaii. In 2023, DPAA verified through the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency the Tokyo prison fire family's hypothesis. The location of cell block number 4 and the grave site areas are located beneath the soccer field. The resources dedicated should now strengthen the recovery plan. An attempt to recover X-File remains must be executed. In 2024, DPAA announces the search for missing American airmen from the Tokyo prison fire could be more than 62. The Jinan Elementary School, in Shibuya, Japan, announces construction is scheduled for the year 2026. Demolition of school area? Our sources Hiroyuki Fukao and Hanako Montgomery in Tokyo report. In 2025, the Tokyo prison fire families have discovered without any doubt many skeletal remains must be on the old prison site. These men were sacrificed for our country. An excavation project is the right and worthy natural progression for recovery of these DNA remains. The elementary school will have construction involving earthwork next year in 2026. Details of construction involve demolition. This demolition work will offer an opportunity for the United States Recovery Team to analyze soil for DNA. Calculating possibilities. Presuming the human skeleton weighs 21 pounds, 31 of the X-Files should weigh 651 pounds. The 31 X-Files referenced have a combined weight of 211 pounds. This would mean that more than 50% of the remains could still be on the site today. Scientific progression in recovery of human remains has reached new levels. One example, Dr. Arpad Vass has created a device to aid in DNA recovery. The quantum oscillator has been tested and continues to improve the recovery efforts around the world. Irvin Ellingson is the prime example for reasons to excavate. Irvin Ellingson was not listed to be in the prison. The investigators determined he was unlikely to be in Tokyo military prison, but his remains were recovered there. 62 skulls were counted, but 9 months after burial 30 or more skulls were missing. The American airmen that died in the Tokyo military prison on May 26, 1945 deserve our attention. The Tokyo prison fire families most humbly insist the United States government should intervene and execute an excavation and recovery effort for complete accountability of DNA skeletal remains. We say it again, the Tokyo prison fire families most humbly insist the United States government should intervene and execute an excavation and recovery effort for complete accountability of DNA skeletal remains. We request an excavation and recovery effort for DNA. Most respectfully and with sincerity, thank you for listening, and may God bless America.